Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Cheshire TV show with Ian and Alex Story.
This week we went out to meet Carla at Simon Boyd Furnishings in Knutsford. This month's lifestyle piece will be how to prepare your house for viewings.
We're also going to be discussing various properties that have come onto the market recently in Cheshire, including buy-to-let deals, premium homes and superb properties that have recently sold. Each week we're going to highlight what's on your doorstep because we love Cheshire as much as you do. So we're going to get out into the community to meet different businesses, charities and events.
So everyone knows Simon Boyd Furnishings in Knutsford. Last week we went to catch up with Carla and learn more about their window displays and their current offerings.
Hi, we're here today at the fantastic Simon Boyd in Knutsford.
We're here to see Carla. Let's go in and take a look. So Carla, do you want to tell us a bit more about what you love most about Knutsford?
Knutsford is a really attractive town, full of character and charm, steeped in history. I mean, we've got Tatton Park right on our doorstep. And although in recent years there's been larger branded stores come into the town, it's mainly full of lots of small, independent little shops, which add to the character, you know, and give a more unique shopping experience. Lots of lovely restaurants and cafes, so the eating side is fantastic. And I think overall it's just got a fantastic atmosphere all the time, especially Christmas time. We have a Christmas market, absolutely. You've got the lights, Christmas markets here, you've got the smell of mulled wine in the street, and it's a really, really lovely atmosphere. Absolutely.
I think the town comes alive as well with the artisan markets once a month as well. It's a fantastic buzz around the atmosphere.
It just adds to the whole charm and character, doesn't it? And just the history, all the diversity of the buildings here. We've got such a range of properties.
It's very pretty town.
Very pretty, from small little period cottages to, you know, extensive, super sleek contemporary houses. So, you know, it covers everything, which creates a fantastic mix of community.
Yeah, of course it does, that's good. So Carla, what do you love most about the people of Knutsford?
We've been here over 25 years, so we really do feel part of the community. We've built up some fantastic relationships with our customers, which creates repeat business and recommendations, which again makes you feel part of the community. I mean, Knutsford people are very discerning, I would say. They know what they like, they know what they like, they want excellent service and they want, you know, good value for money. And I think that just adds to the character of the place, really. They, you know, the customers are quite unique. We see that when they come in, they want that individual rapport with you. They want to feel that you are part of their community. I mean, we're lucky to have a building that's got fantastic windows. And when we dress,
fantastic location.
Absolutely. And when we dress the windows, it actually becomes a local talking point. It becomes an event that everybody's So that does become again part of the locality. I mean, people actually look forward to when our windows are going to be done. Because
that's
from a
superb,
talking point.
isn't it?
So I would say that some people, you know, they're very loyal. We've had lots of new customers over the years because the area has changed, it's grown, new people move in as they do. But I mean, we love having a store.
That's great.
Fantastic location here on the corner as well.
Couldn't be better. I mean, it's the main road. Everybody knows the building. Everybody sees the windows. Hence, that's why there's such pressure on us to get the windows.
So, talking about the change, how do you think Knutsford has changed over the last 15 years? 10,
I think, well, as we touched on a little bit before, there has been a few more branded stores come in, you know, larger names. But thankfully, it's retained all its original character. So that hasn't been at the detriment of losing smaller, unique businesses, which so often happens on the high street now, doesn't it? So many small independent stores have unfortunately gone. So we're really lucky that Knutsford has retained those. And I think that's what draws people in, because you do get that slightly more unique shopping experience. So we've tried to provide different ideas and inspiration for people, and follow obviously latest trends of fabric and colours and design.
And we also wondered about the online competition and how you've coped with that and how you think that's affected things.
Well, online, big competition. I mean, and it's the way everything is going at the moment, isn't it? Everybody instantly thinks online. Thankfully, we're in a very good position in the fact that we bring in lots of fabrics direct from the mills. So we go out to Italy, Belgium, Spain, Turkey, and literally bring those fabrics in from those mills for our own exclusive use. So not only are they exclusive designs to Simon Boyd, but it means then we can be really competitively priced because we're buying direct from the mill. So that really sets us aside from the online competition.
And then you can really guarantee the quality as well.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you buy something online,
you don't know what you're getting.
It's very different.
You know, it could be faulty, the meterage could be short. At least here we've got full control over everything. You know, and buying it in means that we can create, you know, our own trends, if you like, or just quirks on the latest designs. Because lots of the fabrics we bring in incorporate the latest digital printing technology. Which means that you can do fantastic things nowadays that you couldn't do quite a few years ago. So you could have fantastic designs printed on velvet that would not have been possible sort of like 10 years ago. So yeah, things have changed a great deal.
It was really interesting listening to Carla talking about their buying trips as well, going to Italy and Turkey to source all of the materials.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. Really great shop.
Quite like to go in one of their buying trips.
Yeah, I bet you would, yeah. And what about all the ready-made curtains and fabrics and stuff now?
Fantastic. I think that's quite a new addition, she was saying, for the shop as well. They didn't used to do those to rival Dunelm.
Yeah, the bigger places, yeah. And those window displays were great, weren't they?
Yes, did you see the dog one?
Yeah,
and I quite like the look of the pink velvet chair as well.
Yeah.
I can see that in our house.
You've got to convince me on a pink chair.
Yes, I know.
So, what we're going to do now, guys, is take a look at a really good buy-to-let deal that I've noticed this week. I have another good buy-to-let deal for you here. This property behind me is on Morton Street in Winnington. Now, it's recently come to the market with Coolby Conduct for $99,950. So assuming you can secure the property for around $95,000-96,000, you're going to get a rent of $575,000. The property is 2 bedrooms, but it is fully modernised, really good condition, so nothing to do maintenance-wise initially. This is going to generate a yield of 7%. So a really good, strong yield. You're walking distance into Northwich here, so finding a tenant should not be a problem. I will put the Rightmove link in the comments below, but I suggest that Cheshire landlords take a look. It would be a good one to add to your portfolio. I hope you found that buy-to-let deal really useful. It's definitely one for you Cheshire landlords to take a look at. Now it's time for Stat Chat. For most Knutsford people, a mortgage is the only way to finance a property. However, for some, especially Knutsford homeowners who've paid off their mortgage, or Knutsford buy-to-let landlords, many have the choice to pay exclusively with cash. So the question is, should you use all your cash, or could a mortgage be a more suitable option? Well, looking at the numbers locally, just under 16,000 of the 45,000 property sales in the last 7 years in Cheshire East were bought with cash, 35% in fact, which is around what you'd expect, given that the national average is 32%, averaged over the last 7 years. Next, I wanted to see that cash percentage figure split down by years. As you can see from the graph, the levels of cash purchases versus mortgage purchases has remained reasonably constant over those 7 years. As we can see now on the screen, that number has remained relatively constant over the last 7 years. Next, if you're going to go for a mortgage, the next question always has to be whether you should fix the rate or have a variable rate. In the last quarter, just over 90% of people that took out a mortgage had a fixed rate at an interest rate of 2.27%. Although what did surprise me was that just under 66% of the £1.43 trillion of mortgages outstanding in the UK were on a fixed rate. The level of mortgage debt compared to the value of the home itself, referred to as the LTV, loan to value, was interesting, as 62% of people with a mortgage have an LTV of less than 75%. Although one number that jumped out at me was that now only 4.33% of mortgages are 90% and higher, meaning if we do have another slump, the number of people in negative equity will be relatively small. Next, looking at the screen now, the actual number of properties sold, it can be clearly seen that the number of house sales has dipped slightly in 2018. So those are the numbers. Let's have a look at the pros and cons of taking a mortgage, with specific focus on Knutsford buy-to-let landlords. Taking a mortgage will help a landlord increase their investment across more properties to maximise the return, rather than putting everything into one Knutsford buy-to-let property. This will enable the landlord to ensure if there is a void in the tenancy, there should still be rent coming in from the other properties. The flip side, of course, is that there is a mortgage to pay for, whether the property is let or not. Something to consider. The other great motivation of taking a mortgage is that landlords can set the mortgage interest against the rental income, although that will only be at the basic rate of tax by 2021 due to the recent tax changes. Banks and building societies will characteristically want at least 25% deposit. This means that Cheshire landlords can only borrow up to 75% of the value and will assess the borrowing level based on the rental income, covering the mortgage interest by a definite margin of 125%. A lot will depend on what you, as a Knutsford landlord, hope to attain from your buy-to-let investment and how relaxed you would feel making the mortgage payments when there is a void. Interestingly, Direct Line calculated a few months ago that voids cost UK landlords around £3 billion a year, or an average of £1,000 per property per year. You also have to consider that interest rates could also increase, which would eat into your profit, although that can be mitigated with fixing your interest rate, as we discussed before. So, with everything that's happening in the world, does it make sense to buy rental properties? Now, we help many new and existing landlords work out their budgets, taking into account other costs such as agent fees, finance, maintenance, and voids in the tenancy. The bottom line is, if we as a country aren't building enough property, so demand will outstrip supply in the medium to long term, meaning property values will keep rising in the medium to long term. That's not to say property values might fall back in the short term like they did in the 2009 credit crunch, the 1988 dual Miras crash, the recession of the early 80s, the 1974 oil crisis, etc., etc. Yet, every time they've bounced back with vigour. Therefore, it makes sense to focus on getting the best value property that will have continuing appeal and strong tenant demand, and to conclude, buy-to-let should be tackled as a medium to long-term investment, because the wisest landlords see buy-to-let investment in terms of decades, not years. And now it's back to the studio for our lifestyle feature.
So every month we're going to be running different lifestyle pieces. This week is how to prepare your house for a viewing. Hi, I'm Alex from the Cheshire TV show. Today I'm going to tell you a bit more about how to prep a bedroom before a viewing. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to sort the bed out. So obviously get the pillows out the way. Any books or magazines, obviously we need it as neat as possible. People want to imagine that they can move into this house and sleep in this bedroom. So I'll tidy this up. If you have any throws or anything like that, I'd put them on the bed as well. Again, keep it folded and keep it neat. Okay, so we're trying to minimise clutter. People, again, want to imagine that they can move in and not have too much work to do. So I'm just going to shut this wardrobe now. I've been Alex Story. I hope you found these few hints and tips about how to prepare your bedroom for a viewing helpful.
I hope you got really good value from that lifestyle feature. Now it's recently sold. And I've been looking today and I found a fantastic property. It did sell in January of last year, but it's really one that I thought you might want to have a quick look at because it's really fantastic. Now, this property sold for £1.591 million with home sale, home let in Chester. Let's take a look at the outside. Now, as you can see, this is a superb modern property set in between really fine looking period houses. If we take a look through these photographs, that terrace, the Indian stone, is absolutely beautiful. And if we go into the next photograph, wow, look at that. You're right on the river. And you've got your own mooring by the look of it, and a fantastic lawned area stretching right down to the water. As you can see, the property wasn't finished internally, but still achieved a fantastic price. So that was recently sold. I think you'll agree what a fantastic house that was. Now back to the studio for Fresh to Market. Each week we're going to bring you a new to the market property in Cheshire that we think is really well worth a look. It might not be the most expensive or the most beautiful, but we really like it. Our features, Fresh to Market. I've been searching again for you to look at new premium homes that have come onto the market recently. This property behind me here is on Jacob's Way in Pickmere. Now this is a superb detached family home with 5 bedrooms. It's a great size, but what I really love about this property is the location. So Pickmere is a lovely semi-rural location, not far from Knutsford, yet it's so peaceful today. Now we are less than a 1 minute walk to Pickmere Lake, literally just at the end of the road, and turn right and you're at this lovely nature reserve. So if you're looking for a family home of this quality, I would suggest you take a look. It's come onto the market with Savills for £875,000, and I will put the Rightmove link in the comments below. So that was the end of the first ever episode of the Cheshire TV show. Not too bad, Al.
Not too bad. Thank you for watching. Please tune in next week where I go and visit Stephen Evans from the Old Sessions House in Knutsford.
And I'll be bringing you even more good property deals throughout Cheshire. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.